Good day, I'm back. Yeah, I've tried uploading some videos, like for 3 hours when I was still in Malaysia, and I failed. So it's not that I'm unproductive, it's just that technology is not working with me right now. So I apologize for it. But here I am again. I'm currently in Gili, which is in Indonesia. But I'm going to tell you about Pai, which was my last destination in Thailand before I moved to another country. My phone just died, and my charger, I left my charger in the past hostel, but somebody's bringing it for me, so that's fine. But I can't show you the picture on the map, so I'm just going to use my hand. So Bangkok was here, and I took as a recap, I took a 12-hour bus ride to Chiang Mai with Anfi. And then we took a 4-hour bus ride to Pai, which is right at the border, still in Thailand obviously. And 4-hour bus ride, not bad, but it was 720 curves uphill, which you also had to do eventually downhill when you went back. So that was an interesting ride. We met this girl and she told us that 2 guys were still super hungover when they got into the bus, so it was like puke everywhere. Very happy I was not in that bus. Yeah, even for me with a strong stomach, those 720 like curves were quite harsh, especially on the way back because I had been sick. But anyway, like we went up in these beautiful like mountains, and it was dense and green, and it was beautiful. It was really amazing. And then you arrive there and it's like a tiny villagey thing in a way. It's a lot less developed than Chiang Mai. It's a lot chiller, like you have a chilled vibe. So we got there, and yeah, we found our hostel. Anfi had booked it for us. It was a Pai Circus hostel, and we got there finally, and it was awesome. Like we had a pool, we slept in a dorm bed, and like during the day you could practice different circus activities, which was awesome. And like that evening, she saw like there were stickers everywhere which said like artist wanted. And she went up to the bar and she was like, yeah, I'm an artist, can I do something? He was like, yeah, you can choose a wall and paint. And then she was like, can my friend help me? I'm obviously not an artist, but I helped her like do the black lines and like color it in, which took us about like 4 or 5 days. And so I could help her, and in exchange for that we got to stay there for free and eat there for free, which was like the best deal ever. And yeah, we pretty much spent our first days only painting, painting basically, which was very nice. Circus Hostel is a very communal place and very like social, so the questions like that you went through every single time you met new people was like, where are you from? How long have you been traveling for? How long are you going to travel for? What have you done so far? And for me, like the question where are you from every time was like, I'm French, Dutch and Portuguese, and like people that would know my story would look at me and go like, again you have to explain, and I was like, yeah. So yeah, it's just you have like weird people that go like, oh, so you have 3 parents, and it's like, no. Like other ones that go like, it's impossible that you're 33% of something. People in Holland do that as well, Charlie for example. Anyway, so we arrived in Pai. Pai was absolutely great. We were planning on only staying for 4 days, but like most people we got stuck in Pai, so we ended up staying for 11 days. I got sick in Pai, like I had a bug that was going around through the whole hostel, but everyone just had it for 24 hours, but for me it lasted about 4 days, which was not very nice. Like it was just annoying to be sick. And yes, Sandra, looking at you. But the thing is, I could do stuff during the day and I felt okay, but it's just like I was tired and I was like not fully okay, and like my stomach was so that was just a bit annoying. It didn't stop me though, like I'd still go and do stuff. But yeah, then at some point I met this Dutch girl from Tilburg. Her name was Afka, and yeah, we spent 2 days on the scooter together. Oh no, before that, I spent 1 day on the scooter with Pedro and with Jack. We went to see the hot springs, which was awesome. But like, obviously, they're guys, so like, okay, not necessarily guys, but most guys there would go a lot faster than me. And they were like far ahead of me, and I was just there like my little scooter, like driving 60 when they were driving 100. I was like playing it better safe than sorry. And it was also my first day on the scooter. A Thai guy taught me, because like when we rented the scooters, I couldn't start it because like they told me it was like this, so I was trying to go like this. Turns out it's like this. And then this Thai guy came up to me and he was like, jump on the back. And I was like, where are you taking me? And he took me to like this remote place. We stopped and he was like, okay, drive a few rounds and then you can drive properly. So I did that and he was like laughing. He was like, one more, one more. And so we did that. It was fun. And then we went to the hot springs and tried to find a waterfall, which we didn't find. And then got back to the hostel, and 2 days later I did the same, not the same route, but I also went scooter driving with Afka, and we ended up in like this forest, stone forest thing, and it was a bit like VTT, vélo tout terrain, because it was like a very dodgy road, and like at 2 points, like there's one thing that we had to go up, and we're like, oh my fuck, how are we gonna do that? And we thought we were gonna die. We didn't. And then there was one part where we had to go like straight down in like a very like sandy road. But we managed and we had a lot of fun, and we ended up going to the White Buddha as well. So we climbed up some stairs, not that much, and we had a beautiful view, and when we arrived there it was just the two of us, so that was very, very nice. And it's very impressive like how big the Buddha is. I'm sure she's going to put some pictures at some point. And after that we went to a waterfall, which we had difficulties finding. I think we passed in front of it like a few times before realizing that we had to take a turn. And we got there. It was a waterfall with some caves, and it was really, really cold, but we still went swimming because it was awesome. And after that we went to the canyon for sunset, and the canyon was very impressive. I was actually like expecting more like a raw canyon, like the Grand Canyon as we see in pictures, but it was very like in the middle it was very green, and then the canyon itself was like very, very sandy, very soft sand, and you had some dodgy parts that you had to go through and like really hold on to like the stones so you don't fall off. But it was a very nice experience. We were covered in dust and sand at the end, but it was definitely worth it, and like the sunset on the mountains was beautiful, and yeah, it was just great. We had a lot of fun. We met some other people, and yeah, we went back. And then the next day we went to another waterfall. It was a double waterfall, and the second one nobody was there, so it was just for us, which was really nice. And then we tried to find another waterfall, which was supposed to not be that far away. I think we biked for like 2 hours, like on roads like this, like with very dodgy turns, and then at some point we got to the top and we're like, we have no idea how far it is, we don't know if we're going to make it with our fuel. So we bought some more fuel, we continued a bit, and then we just like turned around, we're like, fuck this, excuse my words, we're like, screw this, we're going back home. But it was a good experience, like just driving through it. And it was really, really, really cold when you're on the scooter and like in the shade or like still wet from the waterfall. But it was definitely a great experience. And Pai was a lot colder than Bangkok or Chiang Mai. Like at night I would probably wear my UIP sweatshirt plus another layer underneath, and I think I even wore my fluffy socks at some point. And we all slept with 4 blankets. It was maybe like 10 degrees, but for us it was really, really cold. Yeah, which is a great contrast with Malaysia, for example, where I didn't wear long sleeves once, but it was good. And at night, Pai and Chiang Mai, like the parties stop at 12, like you have to be silent after 12. I think it's because of the neighbors, but yeah, so at 12 like lights went off and then you could see the beautiful stars, and we had 2 evenings where we saw so many shooting stars. There were like 12 in a row. That was really, really great. It was beautiful, and just like Pai in general is awesome. And you had the night market where you could eat tons of food, and it was so cheap, so good. Like Emil and I would go and like eat so much and then feel so fat, but still eat so much and eat more. So it was really awesome. We met great people there, many different types of people. We hung out with 2 Australians for a while. They were quite funny. And yeah, we met awesome people, different kinds of people that yeah, you wouldn't really meet if you wouldn't be traveling. So that was very, very interesting. I would definitely recommend Pai. Pai is so much better than Chiang Mai, I would say. And yeah, it was great. I did expect a more hippie vibe at the hostel, which wasn't the case, but apparently like it depends of the season, so we just came in the wrong one, I guess. But it was like, nonetheless, it was awesome. It was beautiful. We slept in bamboo huts, well, like a bamboo dorm, so like everything looks great, which could be annoying because like you have some rude people in the morning that like decide to talk to each other at 8 in the morning while there are 12 other people sleeping. But that is life. That is life of a hostel, so you get used to that. But yeah, after eating white rice for 4 days, I was very happy I could eat normal food again. And since my sickness, I haven't really eaten any curry because, I don't know, it just is not, no curry for now, that is. So yeah, that was pretty much Pai. It was awesome. We chilled a lot. I felt like a granny because like people would go out and I'd just be sitting on my sofa with my blankets reading a book. But it was still cool. I met great people and I'm very happy I went there. And it was awesome to be with Anpi because she's a sweetie. She's awesome. And her painting, like her painting, is awesome. You guys will probably see pictures at some point on Facebook. I'll try to put them into one of the videos, but that's for later. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. That was Thailand. Well, after like Pai, I had to go back to Bangkok and then, yeah, catch my flight the next morning. So that was a bit of a dodgy thing because I left Pai at 2:30 and then I had to take the 4-hour bus ride, and then we had to take a taxi bus to the other bus, which I didn't think was very, very efficient, but it seemed very like, it was very, it's very structured, let's put it that way. It was organized. Like some stuff didn't really make sense logically, like why don't you just like go straight to the bus instead of taking 2 other little buses. But yeah, it was definitely organized and we always arrived on time and even like before time most of the time. So that was great, like compared to infrastructure in Mozambique, for example, where you have to wait 3 hours and then you're lucky if it shows up some of the times. This was very impressive. So yeah, Thailand was just great. I love Thailand. And everyone goes like "Khop Kun Ka" and "Sawadee Ka," which I continued saying. Like only now that I'm in Indonesia I'm starting to not say it anymore, but it was indoctrinated in me. So yeah, so I went from Pai to Bangkok with a night bus. We had a weird rape movie on. Don't know why they did that, but anyway. And then yeah, I arrived in Bangkok, had to take a taxi to the airport, and then went to the airport, waited for my flight, and then I went to Malaysia. So that's for the next episode.